Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS classes. Today in this lecture, we are going to see current affairs of 8th July 2022. So in this lecture, we are going to cover current affairs from The Hindu, Indian Express, Down to Earth, PIB, Hindustan Times. So why we need to cover different types of these newspapers? Because you can't predict UPSC. So sometimes the questions will be asked from Down to Earth and sometimes from PIB, sometimes the Hindu, etc. And so our responsibility is to cover each and every current affair which is important. And one more thing I want to make some clarification here is, so many students they will be having a doubt like, so you can cover only Hindu, why you are covering all these papers? So one thing you have to remember here is, so in the newspaper, if there is any important news, that will be covered in all the newspapers, but in some areas some important news will be covered in different newspapers, so that we are missing. So if you are only seeing this Hindu, so at the end of this news analysis I will be also showing you the PDF of The Hindu, and I will be also explaining the other articles which appeared in Hindu today, so that you will be getting the analysis of that Hindu newspaper at the end also. So please don't skip the video, and if you want even the articles from The Hindu, you can watch this video till the end. So now let's get started with our analysis, and the first topic it is regarding Nairobi flies. So actually here, what is this Nairobi flies? So here this article will be important from our environment and ecology. And actually, so why this flies is in news? So this flies which mainly causing skin diseases in Sikkim. So especially you know that. So I think you might have observed. So if there is any rainy season happening, so when it is very much cool, we can see the number of insects population will be increased, especially they are coming into our homes, especially if you see the lights in the evening time. So there will be many insects that will be surrounding our lights in the house. Okay, so for this we used to do the different things like closing of doors by the 5:30 or 6 in the evening in my childhood. So why in the rainy season we can see the different insects, they will be coming outside. So actually you know that most of the insects that will be present in the holes of trees, and even some will be present in the ground. So because of this rainfall, so those holes will be filled with the water, and whenever the raining is happening, so they will also feel extreme cold, and especially to get some warmth, so they will be coming outside and they will be mainly attracted towards the lights. So if you see earlier we used to use orange color lights, okay, that used to be like this, right? And we will be having a filament. So earlier we used to use this bulbs before this LEDs. So if you touch this bulb whenever after switching on this bulb after 2 or 3 hours, we will be feeling very hot. So mainly for that hotness, so these flies used to attract. And now we mainly shifted towards LED lights. Okay, so here there is some impact that is mainly seen in these insects. So whenever we are moving towards this technology as well. So now let us try to understand this topic, and let me know whether you know this concept or not in the comment box. So now let us try to see the context. So if you say context, it mainly says that recently, after coming into contact with these Nairobi flies, approximately 100 students in East Sikkim, they have reported skin infections. So what is the link between this Nairobi flies and skin infection? So why whenever the people they are coming in contact with this Nairobi flies, so they are getting this skin infection. So you have to understand this. So what is the toxin that is present in this Nairobi flies that is leading to the skin infections? So if you see details, it mainly says that. So actually this Nairobi flies, they are mainly the insects. They are native to East Africa. Okay, they are native to this East Africa, and this might be a potential prelims question. So you may get a question like, so these insects which are mainly belongs to eastern part of Australia, eastern part of America, but they belongs to this Africa. So you have to remember this. And this Nairobi flies, also known as Kenyan flies and dragon bugs. They are also having other names like Kenyan flies and dragon bugs. And if you're talking about the size of these insects, they are small, and they look like beetle insects, and there are about 2 species in this Nairobi flies. So first species here is Pederus eximus, next one is Pederus saevicus. So you can get a question like, recently Pederus species seen in news. So what is this species? You can get option like fish species, frog species, newly identified. Like that you will be getting the question in your public service examination, even in state and as well as even in union public service examination. So here this Pederus, it is mainly a Nairobi fly. It is a species of this Nairobi fly. And if you are talking about here color of this insect, so pictographic memory is very important, so that I am trying to incorporate as many images as possible. So this is the image of that Nairobi fly. You can see orange color and black color alternatively. Okay, so here black color, here orange, black, orange and black. So alternate black and orange color which is mainly seen, and actually these flies are commonly seen in high rainfall areas. And now why we see this insects which are mainly seen in the Sikkim? So recently here monsoon affected with the severe rains. So because of this high rainfall, so there is this insect which is mainly seen in the Sikkim now. And one more important characteristic of this insect here is, so these are mainly attracted by the bright lights. And if you are talking about historical outbreak, so you might be getting some question like whether it is a first outbreak or not. It is not the first outbreak. So actually since 1998 onwards, we are seeing this type of outbreaks. Significant outbreaks have occurred in Kenya and even other parts of this Eastern Africa. And in 1998, usually heavy rain brought a large number of insects into the area, and that led to this outbreak in Kenya. And apart from that, so past several outbreaks, they have been happened even outside Africa. They are only not limited to Africa, but they started migrating other areas, and especially in India, Japan and Paraguay. So in these areas, it also led to outbreak. And if you're talking about how it is going to affect humans, so here these insects, they will not bite. They will not bite at all. But whenever they are coming and they are staying on this human skin, whenever they are disturbed, okay. So if you take the mosquito which is mainly coming and sitting on your skin, means you will be doing like this, or if it on any housefly. So in the same way, whenever this insect which is coming and which is trying to stay on your skin, whenever you are disturbing the stay of skin, okay, stay of this insect on the skin, then that will release some acidic substance, that is potent acidic substance. And this acidic substance which mainly causes burns on the human skin. So that acidic substance is called as pederin. Okay, pederin. So the release substance is called as pederin, and it mainly causes irritation on the skin, and finally that will lead to lysines. Okay, so you can see this image. So these are some lysines and unusual marks and the different coloring of skin. Okay, so this is about this Nairobi flies. And now let us try to see one more interesting topic, that is regarding killing of honeybees in Australia. So we are going to see each and every dimension regarding this topic. And introduction video you have saw, it is regarding this killing of honeybees in Australia. So again, Australia went into lockdowns. It is mainly keeping lock for this honeybees. It is going for mass killing of honeybees. So why? So title says, why Australia has killed millions of bees to save honey industry. It is talking about killing of bees to save its honey industry. So here this article which is mainly talking about one parasite. Okay. So that parasite which is mainly causing huge losses to this honey industry, and they got only one solution to come out of is killing, mass killing of these honeybees. So this article will be important from our GS paper 3 under environment and ecology, and you can get a question regarding honey industry in India. That is nothing but rearing of honeybees is called as apiculture. So even in our government, even in our India also, government of India which is mainly promoting this honey production, and there are a number of schemes under which here here the people, they are getting honey, artificial honey hives, etc. And we are going for this rearing of honeybees, and this honey is also providing a lot of income for the people, okay, who made it as a livelihood. So if you're talking about context, it mainly says that Australian authorities, they killed millions of honeybees over the past 2 weeks. So from the past 2 weeks onwards, here Australian authorities, they mainly killed millions of honeybees. And why they are killing these honeybees? Especially to stop catastrophic parasite plague, which is called as varroa mite. Okay, they mainly want to stop this varroa mite. It is a parasitic plague. So if you focus on detail, first let us try to understand this varroa mite and as well as life cycle of this varroa mite. So here what happened in this image, I think on your screen you can see this is a beehive. So in the beehive we will be having hexagonal shaped spaces. So I think if you are in rural areas, if you see this beehive, then you can understand how the structure of this beehive will be there. Okay, so it will be like this, and here we can see hexagonal shapes will be there, right? In this way we can see some hexagonal shapes. So in this every hexagonal shape here, so here we will be having only one queen, and the size of the queen is also largest in the beehive. And the queen have ability to lay about 2000 eggs per day in the brood cells. So these hexagonal shaped cells are called as brood cells, and in this brood cells here this queen will go into lay the eggs, and the capacity of this queen is it can lay about 2000 eggs per a day. And what happens for this larvae? So here there will be the worker bees, so remaining all will be the worker bees. So worker bees, they will be bringing some food for this larvae. So whenever they are bringing the food, actually on this honeybees, on this legs, they will be having a small hair-like structures. So in that small hair-like structures, they will be often carrying this varroa mites, and they will be dropped into this brood cells. So what happens? So these mites, they will be reproducing very much fast, and they will start laying eggs. And whenever the eggs of this varroa mite, they are hatching, so what happens? So they mainly feed on this pupa. So what is this pupa? So if we're talking about life cycle of insects, first eggs will be laid, and after that will be converted into larvae, and after that convert into pupa stage, and this from this pupa stage it will be generated, or it will be developed into adult, and adult again will lay the eggs. So it is a cycle. So even this cycle, which is same for the butterfly, eggs, larva, pupa, and as well as adult. So in the same way in honeybees also, whenever this varroa mite, which is mainly developing and which is mainly going for eggs, and after hatching of this egg, so they will be starting feeding on this pupa, okay, pupa of this honeybees. And what happened, whenever they started feeding on this pupa of this honeybees, they will be becoming very, very weak. Okay, and after once they hatched and once they develop into adult, so they will be having some inability. Okay, so because of this, what happens? So honeybees efficiency of collecting honey will be decreased. Okay, so in this way, here varroa mite, which mainly affects the livelihood of the people who are mainly dependent on this honey industry. So this is about the life cycle, and I hope you understand this. So if you understand this, so please type understand in the comment box. So now let us move on and let us try to see some facts regarding this varroa mite. So we are talking about this parasite insect, which mainly starts feeding on honeybees. Especially in honeybees, which part they will be feeding? So especially they feed on the fat of these honeybees. Okay, especially they feed on fat of this honeybees. And these insects, they are mainly called as varroa destructor. Actually, if you're talking about that pest, it will be like a reddish brown in color, and they are having the capability of eradicating entire colonies of honeybees. So if once this varroa mite, which is infected, means, so it will have the capability of eradicating entire community of these honeybees. So because of this is one of cause of concern for our Australian government now. So they frequently circulate among the bees as well as to the beekeeping supplies like a removed corpse as well. So actually in the removed corpse also they can go and they can survive. So although these varroa mites, they can feed and live on adult honeybees, and they primarily feed and reproduce on larvae and pupa in developing brood, causing malformation and weakening of as well as virus transformation or transmission. So what happens? So how this varroa mite which is going to infect this honeybees? So we're talking about in this brood cell. So in this brood cell, here we have the larva, and in some brood cells we will be having pupa. So here the larva of this mite, they will be start feeding on this pupa. So after once this pupa developed into adult, so again on this adult also this mite will be feeding on the fat content, right? So because of this, what happened, that will decrease the efficiency of that honeybee. So apart from that, even what happens, so this mites, they will be going for reproduction in this brood cells as well. And not only this, so that will also cause virus transmission for these honeybees. So as mite population which mainly started growing in this bee colonies, and the symptoms become more severe. So we can see some heavy infestations result in crippled bees and impaired flight performance and lower rate of return to the colony. So here these are some important impacts that mainly seen. So whenever this bee which is mainly increasing in the size and the number of its population, that will be having further negative impacts. So if you're talking about what will be the impact of going for mass killing of these bees. So here till now Australia which is mainly faces some crisis regarding this COVID-19, and after that COVID-19 mainly facing droughts, and after that even it is mainly facing some issues regarding wildfires, and even now they are facing some issues regarding this mites, okay, parasite mites. So now because of this, especially livelihood of people who depended on this honey production, they are at the verge now. So government said that here they are going to compensate especially for their bee and as well as beehives, but they did not say anything clarity regarding so what is about the income they lost. And if you're talking about the mass killings, how they are killing, so you may also get this doubt. So this is the box. In this box we will be having some wooden things, and for this wooden things we will be having beehives. So they will be pouring the gasoline, and the next day they will be going for burning of this. So in this way they are going for mass killing of this bees in Australia. So what will be the impact of this decision of government of Australia? So as you all know that here bees are important pollinators in our ecosystem. So whenever we are taking the decision of killing of these honeybees, that could adversely impact the growth of several crops, including almonds, macadamia nuts, blueberries, etc., because they are the pollinators. So what is this pollination? So whenever the male gamete reaches the female, then that process is called as pollination. As you all know, in flower we will be having male reproductive organs and as well as female reproductive organs. So male reproductive organs are nothing but stamens, and female reproductive organs it is called as stigma. So here pollen will be there in this stamens, and that need to reach to this stigma. So this mainly done by pollinators. So if there are no pollinators in ecosystem, there will be no pollination. So whenever there is no pollination, there will be no production of food. So here one important thing I want to say at last here is, so there might be some issues regarding food security that may arise because they are pollinators. And next one is bees are some of the most important pollinators, ensuring the food security and sustainable agriculture and biodiversity. And not only this, even livelihood of the people, that is also we need to think about. So this is about this topic in detail, and now let us try to see next topic. Title says direct seeded rice. Why this water saving method failed in Punjab. So actually from last year onwards, this direct seeded rice is seen in news. So to understand this direct seeded rice, now you have to know how this rice will be grown. And one more thing I have to say here is, So please open your NCERT geography book, especially Indian geography, and try to go through this agriculture chapter. In this agriculture chapter, you will be coming across food crops, non-food crops, and as well as cash crops. So in food crops, you have to know about some important characteristics for the growing of rice. So which soil, what is the temperature, what is the rainfall that is required. So you have to refer that. So this is the homework for you. And after once this class is done, so please open your NCERT class 11th and try to refer this topic. So you can get a question regarding these topics in your prelims. And recently in 2022 also there was one question regarding this rice. Right? And actually I collected this article from this DTE Down to Earth. So first of all, let us try to understand the traditional paddy cultivation. So what happened? As I am from a farmer family, so I know in detail like so how we are going for this cultivation of paddy. So first of all, we need to make the crop, or first of all we need to make the field suitable for this. That means we need to go for watering, and we need to ensure that so there is a well mixing of manure also, and we can go for rootivating everything, okay, and we will be go for ploughing of land, everything. So after that, what happened after once this field is ready, okay, so before that itself, during the field, when we are making this field is ready, so we will be taking some gunny bags of this rice, that is paddy, and we will be soaking them in the water. So after 3 to 4 days they will be starting sprouting. So after they start sprouting, so by the meanwhile, so this field will be ready, so that we will be pouring this we will be spraying, okay, we will be spraying this seeds with the sprouts, okay, in this field. After at least 7 to 8 days, so these sprouts, they will be becoming like a small plants or seedlings. So after this we will be going for transplanting of these seedlings in the field. Okay, so this is the traditional methods that we will follow, and for this method we need a lot of labor for the transplanting, and we need to ensure the proper water supply. That means the water will be highly used here. So here this direct seeded rice, it is nothing but, so how we are going for growing of groundnuts and as well as tur dal, etc. So in the same way here we will be going for taking of seeds, and that seeds will be sown in the soil and proper watering will be done. So this is this direct seeded rice. So in this direct seeded rice, here there are some advantages and also disadvantages. So we are going to talk about all these things in detail. So if you're talking about context, it mainly says that recently state of Punjab, which mainly unable to achieve the target of water saving method. So especially here many times we are seeing in the news is rice is a water intensive crop. So even this is the same question which appeared in your 2012 prelims. So which of the following is a water intensive crop? So rice is also water intensive crop, and even sugarcane. So sugarcane and rice are the both water intensive crops. So now we are facing water crisis. Even the groundwater, also the groundwater table had been decreased, and we are seeing the climate change events. So here because of this, here many times in the news we are seeing that we have to move from water intensive crop towards water less intensive crops, for example millets, like that. So whenever we are going for growing of rice by using this direct seed method, so it is also one of the water saving method, I can say. So if you see some details of this direct seeded rice, it is nothing but broadcasting seed technique, and it is a water saving method of sowing paddy. So here whenever we are going for this direct seeded method, so here in this method we can save a lot of amount of water. So in this method seeds are directly drilled into the fields, and in contrast to the traditional water intensive method of transplanting rice seedling. So here we are not going for transplanting these rice seedlings, but here we are going for sowing of the seeds in the field itself, and there is no nursery preparation. So here in the traditional method, so we need to go for preparing of nursery. Okay, so the farmers, they have to only level their land, and they can give one pre-sowing irrigation, that's it. So this is like a less water intensive. And what will be the advantage of this direct seeded rice? Yes, one important advantage here is there is a need of less number of labors. So here what happened? Here if you are going for this method of this direct seeded rice, so we need a less number of laborers than compared to that of traditional method of transplanting of this seedlings. And one more thing here is, if there is a less number of laborers who are required here, so what about the agricultural laborers? So what is the situation of these agricultural laborers? So let me know in the comment box what is your opinion, that whenever we are using technology in agriculture and whenever we are going for this direct seeded rice, so what is the situation of the people who are working as agricultural laborers in the rural areas? Okay, so what is your opinion? So let me know in the comment box. Don't forget about this, right? And actually we need a very less number of labor, so this will be advantage for the owners of land who want to go for this sowings, right? But not for the agricultural laborers. And next one here is increase in yield. So there is also an advantage that whenever we are going for this direct seedlings of this paddy, so there are some studies which mainly says that 1 to 2 quintal per acre will be higher. So the production of 1 to 2 quintals per acre will be higher. And now let us focus on what are the issues why Punjab which mainly failed. So Punjab which mainly failed because of extreme climate. So the climate is one of the important reason for the failure of this direct seeded rice in Punjab. So we are seeing there is a high temperature and there is also rainfall deficit. So these are the two important reasons, especially we need to blame them for the failure of this direct seeded rice in Punjab. And next one here is, if you're talking about temperature, it is very high. That is about 47 to 48 degrees centigrade. And the ideal temperature here is just 42 to 43 degrees centigrade. So because of high temperature, yes, this had not been a successful. And next one is, farmers, they were hesitant to choose this direct seed rice because their wheat crops are already have been suffered because of this heat waves, and they don't want to take any more risk further. And next one is reluctance of farmers. So due to lack of support from government in form of providing good variety of weedicide. So government is not also providing the weedicide. So one more important problem I can say here is, so if you are going for transplanting of this rice seedlings, so there will be less chances of this weedicide. And but if you are going for this direct seedling, so there will be a large proportion of the weedicides that you can see in your field. So here, because of that, we need to address this challenge that we can spray this weedicide. But from government side, there is no proper support. They are not providing a good variety of weedicide. And government is also not providing uninterrupted supply of electricity during the sowing season. So because of that, it is very difficult to irrigate the field using the electric motor. And next important issue here is governance issues. So Punjab government's uninterrupted electricity supply for puddling season, which begins in mid-June, is not beneficial for direct seed rice, as its sowing season it is between early May to mid-June, and that's why it is beneficial for this traditional method. Okay, so this is about the challenges, and let me know your opinion regarding whether we can go for direct seeding of this paddy or not. So based on this analysis, I said now I explain you benefit and also explain you challenges. So let me know your stand on this topic. Okay, so please give me your stand in the comment box. So for yesterday's lecture, I got a very good response. So I'm very happy for that. And try to comment in the comment box for the questions I am asking and your opinions, your suggestions, such that it will be motivating me and to come up with this wide range of current affairs, such that I will try to build confidence in you before going to your examination, either prelims or mains and even interview, to build a good confidence in you, okay, that I can answer any question that will come from current affairs. So I want to see this confidence in you students. So for that, try to comment in the comment box and try to know your opinions and perspective of your own in the comment box. So whenever I am asking the question. So now let us try to see one more article. So this article, which is mainly talking about global fin index database. So this article, which is mainly talking about financial inclusion. So as an UPSC aspirant, you need to know what is this financial inclusion. So here, let me know what is this financial inclusion in the comment box. So please pause the video for 10 to 15 seconds and try to type what is this financial inclusion in the comment box. And now, actually you have to know, so whenever any index which is mainly seen in news, you have to know which is the organization which may be released. So that questions will be appear in your UPSC, but from last 2 years we are not seeing that type of questions. But earlier till 2020 there used to be one question regarding indices and which organization which is releasing those indices. And in 2021 and 2022 there was a missing question of that. So if you see title, it mainly says that the Global Fin Index Database 2021, okay, which mainly released, and mainly talks about the financial inclusion, payment and resilience in the age of this COVID-19. So if you see context, so here which organization is releasing this Global Fin Index database? That is nothing but our World Bank, our Bretton Woods institution. So here World Bank which mainly released this Global Fin Index database, and here it mainly came up with this index after surveying 123 economies, and they use both formal and as well as informal financial services. For example, they are using sometimes cards, ATMs, mobile phones and internet. So even in my mobile and even in your mobile, you will be having some payment gateways. For example, you can talk about Paytm, you can talk about PhonePe, Google Pay. So here these will becomes under this financial transactions. So let me know in comment box, so what is this informal and formal financial services? So what is this meaning of formal and informal financial services? So please let me know in the comment box. So if you're talking about the global findings of this index, so it mainly says that in 2021, 76% of adults, they had account in bank. So if you're talking about especially Government of India, which mainly came up with bank accounts, zero balance bank accounts, so that led to the increasing of financial inclusion. So actually there was also some criticism that so this zero bank accounts are mainly used during this demonetization time to make this black money into white money. So yes, there are some criticism, but we are not going to talk about the criticism. But even in India, we came up with this zero bank account scheme. So let me know what is the name of that scheme, where here there is no need of KYC and there is no need of minimum balance maintenance. And if you're talking about global findings in 2021, 76% of adults, they had a bank account or regulated institutions such as credit union, microfinance institution and even mobile money service provider. And one more important global finding here is it is also talking about this global women empowerment. So if you're talking about women empowerment in your answers, so please try to incorporate this also. So recent this Global Fin Index report released by WB, that is World Bank, which mainly said that here mobile money has become an important enabler of financial inclusion, especially for women, okay, especially in some African areas as well. Okay, so even when I go to vegetable market, okay, on every week there will be like a vegetable market will be there. So if I go there and if I buy the vegetables, so many of them they say is that I don't have change, so please do Google Pay or please do Phone Pay, like that. So here we can say women, they are also becoming empowered, so because of this mobile money. And next one is we can also see there will be high financial stress. So despite promising growth in account ownership and use, about half of the adults in developing economies, they are mainly worried about at least one area of financial stress. For example, emergency fund for the health as well. So there will be sometimes high financial stress, and we can see there will be the low financial literacy. So about 2/3 of unbanked adults, they said that they hadn't opened any account because they did not use them. And if you're talking about India specific findings, so there is low access to formal banking in India, and because of this we can see there is lack of trust, and we are mainly focusing on Aadhaar contributed account ownership, and it is about 80% of adults. Okay, So it mainly increases to 35 to 80%. And if you're talking about frauds and leakage, so we can see there is a transitioning from cash to biometric smart cards that has reduced the leakage by 47% in this pension payments. And now let us try to talk about what is this financial inclusion. So I already asked you a question regarding what is this financial inclusion in the introduction. So now if you don't know about the answer, so please try to focus on and try to see the definition that is given on the screen. So here financial inclusion means nothing but individuals, businesses, they will be having access to useful and affordable financial products and even financial services. For example, that can be used for day-to-day transactions, payments, savings, credit and insurance. So if you're talking about sustainable development goals, so financial inclusion is also identified as one of the sustainable development goals. And now I want to give you one main question, that is financial inclusion is increasingly being recognized as a key driver of economic growth and poverty alleviation in the world. So discuss the efforts being made by India in this direction. So if you're talking about financial inclusion introduction, you can write about what is the meaning of this financial inclusion. And in body you have to write about so why it is acting as a key driver of economic growth and poverty alleviation. And finally you have to give some efforts which is mainly taken by Government of India mainly to move towards this financial inclusion. That means here you can write about some important schemes. And there is one question which appeared in UPSC Prelims 2017. Okay, so now let us try to talk about that. So National Payments Corporation of India helps in promoting financial inclusion in the country. Yes. Next one is NPC, that is National Payments Commission of India, launched RuPay card. Okay, it is a payment card system or payments card scheme. Yes. So correct option is C, both 1 and 2. Now let us try to see next topic. Title says new bacteria to take on dengue and Zika. So if you are talking about one important organism which mainly leads to transmission of this dengue virus, Zika virus, here that is mosquito. So which mosquito? That is Aedes aegypti mosquito. So here this article says that new bacteria which is mainly going to take on dengue and Zika. So now let us try to understand so what is the mechanism of this bacteria and how it will lead to decreasing of population of this Aedes mosquito. So this article is important from your science and technology which mainly comes under GS paper 3. So what is the context? So your scientist at Vector Control Research Center of ICMR, they mainly came up with the cross breeding of local Aedes aegypti mosquito which mainly transmit the different types of virus like chikungunya, Zika, dengue, etc. And these mosquitoes, they had been crossbred with the Wolbachia bacteria from Australia's Monash University. So here the bacteria which is mainly seen and used here is Wolbachia bacteria. And you can get a question like, so recently this Wolbachia bacteria is seen in use, what it is related to? It is related to controlling of mosquito population. So if you see details, it mainly says that here Wolbachia bacteria which mainly blocks proliferation of harmful viruses, and also it does not harm mosquitoes themselves. It is not going to harm any mosquitoes, but it will mainly blocks proliferation of harmful virus. Now what is this bacteria first of all? So this Wolbachia bacteria which mainly blocks the proliferation of harmful virus, and in turn it is not going to harm the mosquito. So actually this bug which is mainly seen commonly in the insects. So about 60% of insects, they will be having this bug normally. Okay, this bug will be present normally in the insects. But if you're talking about this mosquito especially, so here in this mosquito we do not see this bug which is presenting naturally. So only very rarely we can see this bug which is present in this mosquito population. And this bug which is maternally transmitted, so it is mainly transmitted from mother to offspring. It is not going to transfer from father, okay, father to offsprings. So whenever it is transferring from father, okay, father to offsprings, it is called as paternal, and whenever it is transmitting from mother to offspring, then that is called as maternal. So this Wolbachia, it is mainly maternally transmitted, that is from mother to offsprings. And what is the important role of this bug? So here Wolbachia inhibits multiplication. It mainly inhibits multiplication of dengue virus. It is mainly inhibits the multiplication of this dengue virus. So here, because of this, that will mainly decreases the spread. So if we are talking about this Wolbachia bacteria, so it is a bug, okay, it is mainly found naturally in 60% of insects. And when we are infecting this Aedes aegypti mosquito with this Wolbachia, that will be seen around 6 months of time. So in the 6 months of time, it mainly starts eliminating the viruses of dengue, Zika and as well as chikungunya in them. So for example, let us take, so this is the male mosquito and this is the female Aedes aegypti mosquito. So this Wolbachia bacteria, which is mainly induced, okay, which mainly which mainly added in this mosquito, and after this what happened, eggs will also do not hatch, and it mainly leads to even reduced Aegypti population. So it is having the multiple role. So first one here is it mainly inhibits the multiplication of virus, and not only this, even whenever we are adding this bacteria for the male, so whenever this male and female they are mating, and after that female will be laying eggs, so this eggs will be like infertile eggs, so this eggs will not be hatching into the next generation. So in this way we can control this virus, we can decrease the spread of this virus, and even we can decrease the population of this Aedes aegypti mosquito. Okay, so this is about this concept. So how many of you find this concept is new? Let me know your comment in the comment box, and comment new for me in the comment box. And now let us try to see next topic. It is regarding the proposal of India's specific norm for accessing vehicular safety in collision. So this article, which is mainly talking about one important thing, that is NCAP, that is Bharat NCAP. So this question you can get even in your mains and as well as prelims, and this topic is important from your science and technology, which mainly comes under your GS paper 3. And now let us try to see this topic, and I will try my level best to make understand here. So before that, if you know about this topic earlier, so please let me know in the comment box that what you know about this topic. So please pause the video for 10 to 15 seconds and type what you know regarding this NCAP. So if you are talking about context, it mainly says that recently our Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways mainly approved draft GSR, that is General Statutory Rules. So recently our Ministry of Road and Transport gave approval for this draft General Security Rules notification, and they started seeking some comments from the public regarding this Bharat New Car Assessment Program. So it would mainly accords vehicle a star rating. So if you see either in our fans, even in our fridges, so we will be seeing star marking like 3 star, 4 star, 5 star based on energy efficiency. So based on that star rating only the prices will be varies, and even based on that star rating only we will go and select our product. So which product we want to buy. So in the same way the cars also we are going to get this star rating, and the star rating in this electricity items or electric items, which is mainly based on efficiency. So how much electricity they are using and what is the output. And here this star rating in this cars, which is mainly based on crash test. So before launching of so and so car into the market, so the company which mainly manufactured that car, they will be going for crash test. That means they will be applying so and so pressure. So at which pressure what is happening. So how much pressure it can be resisted. Okay, so that thing that mainly going and tested in this crash test. And you can open YouTube and you can type different cars like Mahindra cars are there, Maruti cars, Tata, etc. and try to type the crash test of Tata car or crash test of Toyota car, like that. Then you will be getting number of videos and you can understand so what they are going to do in this crash test. So if you have know about this crash test before itself, then it is okay. And if you don't know about this, so please type in the YouTube and you can get the more insights regarding this. So what will be done in this crash test? Okay, so here based on the performance in this crash test, your star rating will be given to the cars. And whenever we are giving the star rating for this crash, car based on this crash test, that will be also increase our export worthiness, and even that will also increase competition in the market, and even consumer confidence will be increased. So please pause the video for 1 minute and please try to think about the star rating based for the vehicles, and let me know what will be the advantages and what is your opinion regarding this, whether it will be useful whenever we are going for the star rating or not. So let me know your opinion in the comment box for sure. And now let us try to see some details. So what is this NCAP? So it is a new car safety assessment program. Yes, car safety assessment is very important, because if any person who they want to go and purchase a car, so in the market we will be having different cars. For example, we have sedan cars, we have SUV cars, and we will be having different companies like Toyota, and we can have Mahindra and also Maruti Suzuki. So there are different types of companies you are mainly manufacturing their cars, and the cars of one company which will be having the unique characteristic when we are comparing with the another, based on the mileage, based on whether it is a diesel or petrol vehicle, like that. So here the star rating program will be very important, because if I am a customer, if I want to purchase a car, so I will start now seeing the parameters of this star, whether they are safety or not. So nowadays the people, they are not thinking about for 1 liter of diesel how much mileage it is giving. They are mainly focusing on safety, because as you all know, recently one report of NCRB which released, and that mainly talked about there is increasing of accidents, road accidents, and this road accident is one of the important cause for the loss of life. So now the people, they are mainly thinking about safety. So for the safety, this new car safety assessment program, it is very important, and it's also very significant as well. So here this star rating to automobiles, which is mainly based on the performance of the crash test, and even so this NCAP standards, which is aligned with the international or global benchmarks as well. So if we are talking about this Bharat NCAP rating, so it is mainly going to give 1 to 5 stars. So testing of these vehicles for this program, that will be mainly carried out by testing agencies, and they will be having a proper necessary infrastructure such that they can also calculate at what pressure the resistance which is mainly seen. And if you are talking about significance of this rating, so as I asked one question, okay, so I hope you already gave your comments in the comment box, and now let me explain you what is the significance. So here first of all, that will empower the consumers. So if I am purchasing this 5-star rated car, means I will be having confidence that yes, I purchased this so and so car, and it will ensure the safety for me and for my family, and will empower the consumers to make informed decisions. So the new regulations introduce the concept of safety rating of passenger cars, and even it mainly empowers the consumers to take some informed decisions. So based on this rating, I will be going for purchasing of the car, and will also increase the export worthiness. So star rating of this Indian cars, which means mainly based on this crash test, it will not only ensure the structural and passenger safety, but even it will increase the export worthiness. And next one here is, it will also helpful to make automobile industry Atmanirbhar. So it will also improve the critical instruments in making our automobile industry Atmanirbhar. So these will be the advantages. And now let us try to see next topic. It is regarding LGBTQ+. So here title says a community and a health issue of concern. So this article, which is mainly focusing on mental health. mental health of this LGBTQ community. So as you all know that in our society, we have different people, different religions together, and we have men and women, they are living together. So not only men and women, so we are also having this transgender community, they are living with us in our society. So what is the reason for this transgender? So here, whenever the baby formation which is happening in the womb of mother, so whenever there is any genetic aberration which mainly happened, okay, so that leads to this transgender. So whether we can see physically the appearance will be male, but reproductive parts will be there for female. Okay, so it mainly happens because, so from the mother, so it will be, egg will have excess gametes, and in the male sperm it will be having XY, that is a father's sperm. So what happened during the formation of the fetus, during the fertilization, X from mother and either X or Y from the father, they will be coming and they will be joining. So if X is contributed from the male sperm, means that will leads to girl, and if Y is contributed from the sperm, means it will leads to the boy. But sometimes what happens, so both X and Y, they will be coming, and that will leads to XY in the fertilized ovum. So because of this, what happens here, sometimes the body appearance will be man and the reproductive organs and reproductive behavior will be like women. Sometimes we will be having bisexual, both male and female. Okay, so because of this, there is some mistake which mainly happen during the fusion of this ovum and the sperm and the contribution of the sperm. So because of this, that will lead to this LGBTQs. So it is not their mistake. So it is not at all their mistake. So because of this, they have right equal to men and the women who are living in our society, and we need to give the equal respect for them as well. So we should not discriminate them. So let me know in the comment box where you will see this transgender. So what are the problems faced by these transgenders in the comment box. So as you are going to be the future bureaucrats, you have to respect each and every person equally and alike. So try to incorporate that feeling from now onwards so that you can be a good officer in the future. So now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail. So why this LGBTQ community is in news now? So last month, June, which is mainly celebrated as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender and queer or questioning Pride Month all over the world. So all over the world in this month of June, we celebrate it as a Pride Month. And this LGBTQ Pride Month, it is mainly celebrated to commemorate anniversary of Stonewall riots at Stonewall in New York. And actually here, so this Pride Month, which mainly provides role models, builds community and represents a civil rights statement about the contributions of this LGBTQ community. So not only the women and men, they contributed to our society, our community, but even LGBTQs, they are also contributing. So recently one news was there, the first transgender pilot. So they are also equally capable with men and women, but there is some small change in their reproductive behavior, that's it. But they are equally competent. So we can see there are a number of transgender, they are doctors, they are NGOs, they are mainly leading NGOs, and even recently one pilot who is a transgender, right? So here this Pride Month, which mainly provides an opportunity to talk about the role models, and it will also helps to build community and respect the rights of this people, and even we need to focus on their contributions to our society. So actually for the first time this month, which is mainly started to celebrate from this 1994 onwards. So if you're talking about stigma and suffering and even challenges of this LGBTQ community, so they are mainly facing some problems from their family. So even the family are not accepting this. Even mother and father, they will not going to accept if their children is a transgender. So because of this, they will be often thrown out of their houses. So there are many movies in our Telugu language, they are mainly depicting about this transgenders and what are the problems they are facing in their lives from the childhood. Okay, so here they don't want to return to their home where they were sent out, and even they do not have proper communication, and there will be some misunderstanding between the parents and as well as their LGBTQ children. So because of this, that will lead to increasing of family conflict. And the second one here is discrimination at workplace. And even whenever this LGBTQ community, they are coming forward, and whenever they are doing some jobs for their sustenance, so at the workplace also we can see there will be some discrimination, and even many a times here they cannot get the jobs as well, and we can see a lot of discrimination of these people at the workplace. And next one here is health issues. So criminalization of homosexuality, which mainly leads to discrimination, and that mainly getting poor or inadequate access to the services within the health system. Within the health system also, so these people, they are not going to get proper health facilities or healthcare services, and even they do not have the ability to access HIV prevention, testing and treatment services as well. So because of all these things, because of all these negatives that they have been seen since childhood, they are mainly isolated, and they are mainly going into the wrong way, and they are mainly fall into the prey of drugs. So we can see a lot of drug abuse as well. So they gradually develop low self-esteem and low self-confidence in them, and they will be isolated from their families and their friends, and finally they will be addicted to drugs, alcohols, tobacco, etc., especially to relieve from the stress and as well as rejection from the society and discrimination of society. So the mental health needs of this LGBTQ plus communities, they are not different from others, because what are the health problems that we normal people have, so they will be also having the same problems. So here, whenever they are denying the health services, so they will be having some impact mentally. Okay, so here sexual orientation, gender identity, they are rarely discussed in our social and as well as educational and family environments. So there is no proper discussion that we can see regarding these transgenders in our schools or in our books, in our textbooks. We do not have anything regarding them, right? So even if you're talking about this LGBTQ people, throughout their life, they mainly comes across mental illness, and even they will be face some negative things from their childhood. So if you're talking about what are the steps that can be taken, so if you're talking about the steps that we can take here is, first of all, we need to focus on the mental health of these people, and we need to ensure there is a proper healthcare services which are provided for these people as well. And we need to focus on improving of skills. So government can come up with some skill centers, and here in these skill centers, so some skills they need to be provided for these people, especially for tailoring, especially anything like creation of solar lamps, or like some skills, okay, that will be useful for the getting of their at least self-employment. So okay, so in this way here government can help these people, and government can provide some resources for these people. And next one here is, we need to come up with a movement, okay, such that we need to make a public aware regarding what are the problems of these transgenders, and we need to change the social attitudes. So this attitude which mainly comes out of a GS paper 4. So in the GS paper 4 we will be having one chapter regarding attitude. So if we want to bring the attitude change in the people, we need to talk about this ABC component. ABC, that is affective, base and cognitive model, ABC model, and you can write about examples. Okay, and we need to focus on community building. Community building is also very much important for improving the mental health, and we need to create some supportive, safe and educative steps, and we need to focus on healthcare and information on the healthcare for this LGBTQ. So this is about this topic. And finally I want to ask one question. So what is the difference between sex and gender? So what is the difference between sex and gender? Let me know in the comment box if you don't know about this. So this topic I will be going to take in the tomorrow's lecture. So because if you are a student from sociology, or if you are a student from anthropology optional background, so you will be coming across this. So because of this, in tomorrow's lecture I will be explaining you what is the difference between sex and gender if you don't know. So if you know, please comment in the comment box. If you don't know, please let me know that I don't know. so that I will be explaining you about this sex and gender in the tomorrow's lecture. And now let us try to see yesterday's questions and answers. So first question is regarding Buddha's teaching. So in the Buddha's teaching you will be coming across Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka and Abhidhamma Pitaka. And here this question is also added one more statement regarding this Jataka tales. So first statement here is Sutta Pitaka. Sutta Pitaka, which mainly contains sayings of Buddha, and Vinaya Pitaka contains monastic discipline that need to be followed. So these two statements are interchanged. And Jataka stories are part of Sutta Pitaka, yes. So the correct answer for this question here is 2, 3 only. And the next question here, it is regarding Janapadas and Mahajanapadas. So which of the following statements are correct regarding these Janapadas and Mahajanapadas? So first statement here is Janapadas, they are essentially agricultural settlements and were essentially named after main Kshatriya lineage of that area. Yes, absolutely correct. Some of the Janapadas, they are developed into Mahajanapadas in 6th century BC, yes. And political setup of all Janapadas, they were monarchical, but there are also some Vajji like Mahajanapadas, they are oligarchical. So here all it is extreme word which is mainly used, and we can eliminate this statement. And the correct option is 3, 1 and 2 only. And today's practice questions, so the first one is regarding early Vedic period. Second question is regarding Harappan town associated structures. So this second question is very easy question. So try to give me the answer for these questions in the comment box. So after once you have login, click on the courses. There you can see course list. And in this course list you can see wide range of courses. And now let us try to see today's Hindu paper PDF. So as I promised you, I will be also going to discuss some important articles that appeared in the Hindu at last. So yes, I am going to keep my promise and I am going to discuss some important articles that appeared in the Hindu. So first article, it is regarding Boris Johnson. So this Boris Johnson, he resigned as Prime Minister. So because of that, we can see there is ending of political drama in Britain. So here Boris Johnson resigned on Thursday as a leader of Britain's Conservative Party. And that led to the way for selection of new Prime Minister. After dozens of ministers, they quit his government over 48 hours. So there is here in Britain again the political instability that we are going to see. And next topic, it is regarding LAC, that is line of actual control. So where is this line of actual control present? Here we have India here and we have China here. So boundary between this India and China, we have this line of actual control. So across this line of actual control, since April-May 2020 onwards, we are seeing there is a military standoff. So there is no proper status quo that is mainly seen in some areas. So here in Bali, here there is a meet between India and China, and they mainly talked about this LAC issue there, and we have to see what will be the thing that we can see in the future. And if you move further, you can see there is one article regarding monsoon. So monsoon getting hotter than summer, says the study. So here this article which mainly says that there is increasing of temperature of about 0.3 degrees centigrade, which is higher than average summer figures. So here monsoon, which mainly usually we can see a low pressure area which is created. So when low pressure area is created, whenever there is high temperature, we can see low pressure area is created. So even whenever there is a low pressure area it is created, so it will be attracting the winds from the high pressure area. So whenever the winds, they are moving from this Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal, so they will be bringing moisture to the land, such that will be leading to the rainfall. So actually this article says that the average temperature during the season, which is about 0.3 degrees centigrade, which is higher than the average. And from 1901 to 2020, so there is increasing of 0.62 degrees centigrade of temperature that is mainly seen. And even we also saw that heat wave like situation that is mainly seen across India. Especially there is a daily maximum temperature recorded in some states like Chandigarh, Delhi, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Punjab, Rajasthan, UP, etc. in the month of March and April. And if you're talking about because of these heat waves, that also led to increasing of deaths. And if you move forward, there is nothing much that is seen in this city page, and in this page also there is nothing much to see. and you can directly move on to editorial page. So before this, there is one article here, it is about POCSO. Okay, so here this POCSO, that is Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. So here this POCSO, which mainly applies to Muslim girls who attain puberty. So this act, which is mainly aimed at protecting children, so either it is for Muslims or either it is for Hindus and Christians, so this will be applies. So here you need to know about some provisions of this POCSO act. So actually this act, which mainly aimed to secure the children and ensure that they are not abused. And if you move forward, here you can see one article regarding panel holds discussion with officials on oocyte sale case. So what is this oocytes? Oocytes are nothing but, I can say, eggs, okay, that is mainly seen in the ovary of female. So why there is a sale of oocytes? So actually because of our sedentary lifestyle, and even here National Family Health Survey said that here there is decreasing of fertility rate, total fertility rate. In India it is just 2.1. So earlier here women, reproductive age of women, they used to have even 6 child or 7 child earlier, in earlier times during our grandmother's era. But now here there is a report which mainly says that TFR, which mainly decreased in India, especially it is like 2.1. And even if you talk about US and some other countries, so here they couples, they do not want child, so they are mainly opting for childless life. So here actually why there is oocyte sale, because of decreasing of TFR, so most of the females, they became infertile. So one important reason that I can say here is because of this PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome or polycystic ovary disease. So there is no releasing of eggs. So if the couple, they want to have children, means they can go for this IVF, in vitro fertilization. So in this IVF procedure, especially if there is no proper eggs, or if there is the egg count in the female, it is 0, means they have to go for buying of oocytes from a donor. So here they will be buying this oocytes and they will be going for this IVF process, and that will lead to the pregnancy and childbirth. So this article, which is mainly talking about this oocyte sale. So I hope you understand this introduction. So your Tamil Nadu State Commission for the Protection of Child Rights, they held discussions regarding this. A minor girl, she is mainly forced to sell her oocytes to private hospitals. So here we have to see ethical dimensions in this topic, and once it is done, we will be going to have a detailed discussion. And if you move on to this editorial page, this article, which is mainly talking about ending Ukraine war in an imperfect world. So this is about in Ukraine and Russia issue. So you can read this article. And this article regarding this LGBTQ community I discussed, and remaining these 2 articles are political articles. There is no need of reading this. And if you move forward here, in this text and context, there is one article regarding this turbulence in airlines. So this article, which is mainly talking about SpiceJet. So recently there are a number of increasing of mid-air accidents that is mainly seen in this SpiceJet. And actually suddenly this SpiceJet which is mainly emergency landed in the Pakistan. So because of this, what happened, because of increasing of accidents of this SpiceJet, so here recently in yesterday's lecture we studied that here DGCA, that is Directorate General of Civil Aviation, which mainly gave a notification to this SpiceJet. And here this DGCA, which mainly blamed that there is poor internal safety outside and inadequate maintenance actions that is mainly seen. So because of this, we can see there is a fall of standards of this SpiceJet. So since May here, SpiceJet, which mainly saw incidents of crashed windshield and engine shutdown and engine failure, smoke in cabin, a bird strike. Okay, so these are some incidents that are mainly seen. So next topic is about vehicular safety. I discussed this topic, and you can directly move on to this newspaper, that is page number 14. Here you can see one more important article, that is regarding 12 to 13% of NPAs in loans given to street vendors. So in India we have one street vendor scheme, that is PM Swanidhi scheme. I discussed number of times regarding this topic. So under this PM Swanidhi scheme, here the street vendor, they can get a loan of ₹10,000 rupees. Okay, under this about 30.23 lakh street vendors, they got loans of 11.63 lakh rupees. So now we can say about 20 to 13% of NPAs that are mainly seen in the street vendor scheme. So you have to refer that scheme once, and this is your homework, students. And next one here is Center to promote dragon fruit cultivation. So dragon fruit, it is a desert plant actually. So it will be looking like a cactus somewhat. And actually I think you might have had this fruit, and we can see different colors like pink color, white color and yellow color pulp in this dragon fruits. So based on the pulp also the price mainly varies. And actually now here government is mainly trying to take some steps, especially in the Gujarat and Haryana government, to promote this cultivation of this dragon fruit. Actually this dragon fruit is called as a superfood because of a large amount of health benefits. Okay, and if you're talking about this fruit which is called as kamalam, and even if you're talking about why it is called as superfood, because it is considered as a good for diabetic patients, and even it will be having low in calories and high in nutrients like iron, calcium, potassium, zinc, etc. So it will be helpful mainly for addressing of different problems of nutrition. And if you move forward here, you can see in this page number 15, there is one article that is NEP will develop a skilled and confident youth. You can see that topic. And if you move forward here, you can see Odisha Ice Forest Act implementation by 2024. Here you have to know about this Forest Rights Act. So especially if you are students from anthropology, you have to know about this PRIs. You have to know about this Forest Rights Act and as well as PISA Act. It should be on your fingertips. And if you move forward here in this world page, you can see Ukrainian troops killed on Snake Island. So you have to see the location of this Snake Island. I already shared this image in the Telegram group. Please check it once. And these are some important articles that appear in our today's Hindu newspaper. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. So please subscribe to Rathod's IAS and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. So I am requesting you students to share my videos in the different Telegrams groups or WhatsApp groups. That will be helpful for the other aspirants also. So whilst I am concluding, thank you so much.